Ever walked into a crowded room and without a single word being spoken, felt a palpable shift in attention? Two people enter. One is instantly noticed, their presence a quiet declaration, the other fades into the background, a ghost in the periphery. This isn't about looks or status, not directly anyway. It's about something far more primal, far more potent. It's about confidence. But what is this elusive quality? Is it a skill you can learn? A clever trick? Or is it something deeper, etched into the very core of who we are? For decades, I've sat across from men and women under unimaginable pressure. Suspects, victims, witnesses. I've seen bravado crack and genuine resolve shine through. I've watched how a person's presence alone can command a room, or dissolve into thin air. By the end of this, you won't just understand the psychology of command, you'll know the exact, often invisible triggers that shift you from being overlooked, from being dismissed, to being instantly respected, often without uttering a single word. This isn't about becoming someone you're not, it's about revealing the quiet authority that's already within you. Let me show you how to pull back that curtain. Now, let's cut through the noise. There's real confidence, and then there's the parlor trick, the cheap imitation. Real confidence, as I've seen it in the most intense situations, isn't loud, it's a calm presence. It's a congruence between what a person projects and who they actually are. Their body language is open, their movements deliberate, and they are utterly comfortable with silence. The kind of silence that invites thought, not unease. They don't need to fill every void, their presence already occupies the space. Then there's the fake kind. This is the overcompensation, the forced bravado, the nervous energy masquerading as power. I remember a suspect once, a tough-looking guy, all puffed chest and loud declarations, but his eyes darted, his hands fiddled under the table. His words screamed innocent, but his body was singing a different tune. Studies, like Amy Cuddy's work on power poses at Harvard or Stanford's research on nonverbal cues, corroborate what I learned in observation. Our physiology shapes our psychology. If you try to fake it without embodying it, the cracks will show. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you felt the need to perform confidence rather than simply be confident? What was the outcome? The truth is, genuine confidence doesn't need to announce itself. It's felt. It's the subtle art of knowing you belong, not demanding it. It's a quiet knowing, a deep-seated assurance that resonates without needing validation from anyone else. Before you even think about projecting confidence, you need to understand how to read it, or the lack thereof, in others. This was my first lesson in every new case. Observe, then act. Keen observation is the interrogator's secret weapon, and it's your secret weapon too. True confidence is often revealed not in what someone says, but in the subtle nuances of their nonverbal communication. It's in the way their gaze holds, the deliberate pace of their steps, the controlled resonance of their voice. I once dealt with a high-stakes negotiation, two parties, both claiming absolute certainty. One gentleman spoke with fervent conviction, his voice rising, his gestures sweeping. The other, a quiet woman, listened, her posture relaxed yet attentive. When she finally spoke, her voice was calm, measured, every word deliberate. No histrionics, no grandstanding. Who do you think commanded the room? The woman. Why? Because her confidence was internally sourced, not a performance for an external audience. She wasn't trying to convince me, she was simply conveying her position. When you learn to truly observe, you begin to see beyond the surface. You'll spot the micro-expressions that betray anxiety, the subtle postural shifts that signal discomfort, or the forced smiles that hide genuine apprehension. This isn't about judgment, it's about information. It's about understanding the unspoken dialogue that happens in every interaction. Have you ever consciously observed someone's body language to gauge their true feelings? What did you discover that their words might have concealed? Mastering this observational skill is the first step toward embodying genuine, unshakable confidence yourself. You can't truly project it until you recognize its authentic presence and its counterfeit forms in the world around you. Now, let's get into the mechanics, the psychological triggers that broadcast instant respect, backed by decades of observation and solid science. These aren't tricks, they're fundamental human responses to specific cues. 1. Postural dominance. Think of it as taking up your rightful space. An upright spine, shoulders back, open gestures. This signals authority and self-trust. It tells the reptilian brain of others, subconsciously, that you are not prey. Remember that moment in the animal kingdom when one expands its posture to show strength? We're not so different. A slumped posture screams vulnerability, an expansive one declares presence. 2. Vocal tonality. A calm, measured, resonant voice. This isn't about being loud, but about control. A higher pitch or rapid speech often suggests anxiety. A lower, steady tone, however, triggers subconscious trust. It's why FBI negotiators train extensively on vocal modulation. It's the sound of someone who is in command, not just of the situation, but of themselves. 3. Eye contact mastery. This is a delicate art. It's balanced and purposeful, not an aggressive stare. You hold the gaze long enough to establish connection and credibility, then release, signaling comfort and a lack of threat. Too little, and you seem shifty; too much, and you're confrontational. It's about engagement without intimidation. 4. Controlled movement. Slow, deliberate motions project self-assurance. When someone moves frantically, fidgets, or gestures wildly, it signals internal disquiet. Conversely, a person who moves with purpose, whose gestures are economical and precise, communicates a profound sense of inner calm and control. 5. Space ownership. This isn't about being arrogant, but about being comfortable in your personal space. A person who constantly retracts, shrinks, or apologizes for their presence subconsciously signals a lack of self-worth. Conversely, someone who occupies their space naturally, without encroachment, projects subtle status. These aren't arbitrary suggestions, they're rooted in social dominance theory, supported by studies like Milgram's work on authority, and are fundamental to real-world FBI negotiation tactics. They work because they bypass conscious thought and tap directly into our primal understanding of power dynamics. Can you identify one of these triggers you already use effectively, or one you know you need to cultivate? Let's visualize the transformation, because seeing it makes it real. Imagine the before scenario. Someone entering a room, shoulders hunched, eyes darting, speech rapid and hesitant. People unconsciously turn away, interrupt, or simply don't register their presence. This is the problem: animation. Social anxiety manifesting as invisibility. Now, the after. The same person, but their spine is upright, their shoulders relaxed, their gaze calm and steady. Their voice is measured, their movements deliberate. Suddenly, people pause. They listen. They defer. This is the solution animation, a profound shift where subtle cues command respect. The framework for this transformation isn't complicated, but it requires diligent practice, just like any skill worth mastering. 1. Awareness. First, you must identify your default behaviors. Record yourself in a casual conversation. How do you sit? How do you move your hands? What's your vocal cadence? Be your own detective. 2. Adjustment. Don't try to change everything at once. Focus on one trigger. For instance, for an entire week, consciously practice postural dominance. Stand taller, sit straighter, feel the difference. 3. Application. Once you feel a subtle shift, start applying it in low-stakes situations, then gradually elevate to high-stakes scenarios. That critical meeting, a new introduction, a negotiation. Here's a challenge for you right now. For the next hour or in your next social interaction, pick one subtle change, perhaps maintaining eye contact for an extra second, or consciously slowing your speech by 10%. Try it. Pay attention to how people respond. Report your results in the comments below. The smallest shift can create the biggest ripple. The interrogation room is a crucible where confidence is tested, amplified, or shattered. It's a microcosm of all human interaction, just with higher stakes. I've seen innocent people, lacking self-assurance, fold under pressure, their innocent story becoming convoluted simply because they couldn't project the calm certainty of truth. Conversely, I've seen hardened criminals, brimming with false bravado, unravel because their confidence was a thin veneer, easily stripped away by persistent, calm questioning. Consider a nervous witness. They fidget, their voice quivers, their story jumps. An interrogator, armed with this psychological understanding, might push harder, knowing the witness's lack of composed presence isn't necessarily deceit, but simply a lack of confidence in their own recounting. But what if that witness, despite their fear, maintained steady eye contact, a calm posture, and a measured tone? Even if their words wavered, their underlying presence would communicate a deeper truth, a resilience that would alter the interrogator's approach entirely. This isn't just about criminals and justice, it's about your everyday life. When you're under pressure, a job interview, a difficult conversation, a confrontation, your natural response to stress reveals your true confidence. Do you shrink or do you expand? Do you speed up or do you slow down and ground yourself? The lessons from the interrogation room are brutally honest. Genuine confidence, the kind that radiates from within, is your most potent shield and your sharpest weapon. It's what allows you to hold your ground, convey your message, and command respect, even when the world around you is trying to shake you. Think about a time you felt immense pressure. How did your body and voice react? What could you have done differently to project more inner calm? Once you've grasped the fundamentals, these confidence triggers become powerful tools in specific social scenarios. In the workplace, for instance, how does your presence change perception in meetings? It's not about being the loudest voice in the room. I've seen many a blusterer overshadowed by the quiet authority of someone who simply is. When you walk into a meeting with an upright posture, maintain steady eye contact during discussions, and speak with a resonant, calm voice, your contributions carry more weight. People instinctively perceive you as more competent, more decisive. It's the tie-in to authority. You don't need to dominate, you simply need to occupy your space with deliberate intention. In relationships, whether personal or professional, respect in conversations hinges on these subtle cues. If you're constantly looking away, fidgeting, or speaking apologetically, you implicitly signal a lack of confidence, which can erode respect. Conversely, offering focused attention, a calm demeanor, and clear, concise communication establishes a dynamic of mutual respect. And what about handling disrespect? This is where quiet confidence truly shines. Instead of reacting with anger or defensiveness, which often comes across as insecurity, a calm, confident pushback is far more effective. Imagine someone interrupts you, dismisses your point. Rather than raising your voice, you simply maintain eye contact, pause, and calmly but firmly reiterate your point, perhaps even saying, "I wasn't finished." It's an animated role-play of verbal boundary setting, where your calm presence is the unspoken message. You will respect my boundaries. This isn't about winning, it's about holding your ground and silently demanding the respect you deserve. So, let's bring it back to basics. Real confidence isn't about bravado, flash, or being the loudest in the room. It's silent, it's subtle, and it's deeply rooted in our innate psychology. It's the invisible script we all read, subconsciously, in every interaction. It's the difference between being a background character and commanding the lead role in your own life. My message to you is this: you don't have to transform into someone else. You don't have to mimic a persona. You already possess the capacity for profound, quiet authority. It's about understanding these primal psychological triggers and learning to activate them within yourself. Master these invisible scripts, and watch how the world begins to respond differently to you. You'll move from being overlooked to being undeniably present, from being dismissed to being instantly respected. If you are ready to delve deeper into the hidden mechanics of human behavior and unlock more of these insights, I urge you to subscribe for more hidden psychology breakdowns. And tell me, what's one situation where you'd most like to command instant respect? Perhaps our next video can be FBI tricks for instant authority, or how to spot fake confidence in others. Let me know your thoughts.